Hi, everybody. So today I want to talk to you guys about how fear almost talked me out of my destiny. So it starts when I was about 7 years old. I had the privilege of seeing my dad become an entrepreneur after working a 9-to-5 job. And now listen, he gave 150% no matter where he worked. But when he became an entrepreneur, his energy was so infectious. I'm talking about before these different pitch calls, my dad would have a pep talk with himself. So he would talk about it loudly, he'd sing, he'd dance, and I'm not exaggerating, and I loved it. And then when he would get off the call and it was successful, he was high-fiving himself, he was jumping around. The energy was so contagious that I decided in that moment at 7 that I was gonna be an entrepreneur. Now, I told him, I said, Dad, I swear I'm going to run your business. I'm going to have my own business. And him knowing that I was 7, he was just like, oh, okay, sure. So as I grew older, became a teenager, around 14, I was able to see the other side of being an entrepreneur. Late nights, tough calls, employees, him having to pitch. And my dad was so fearless. He would get on the stage and crush it every time. But I was at the age where the insecurities were setting in. So I was like, oh no, I'm not built like that. At that moment, I decided I'm not going to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, it's not for me. You have to be fearless. That's for him, not me, but I will support him. So I went the route of becoming, and I did the 9-to-5. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just telling my story here. So I went the route of 9-to-5, and what I found happening was I would constantly move into leadership positions. It was something that came naturally to me. But around that 4th year, I would get this feeling. And it was a feeling of like, this is just not it. I don't know what is it, but this ain't it. On to the next job. Same thing, moving into leadership position. Next thing you know, that familiar feeling came up. So the 3rd time, I said, all right, this has to be the leadership thing. The leadership positions have you wanting more. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this next corporate job. You're going to clock in, get your paycheck, leave, and that's it. I really told myself, no more growing. You just need to go in and take care of your family. But I don't know what happened between that conversation because there was some type of disconnect, and I moved into the director of operations role after a few years. So there was a miscommunication. And also, because I like to create chaos in my own life, I also decided to start my own brand at the same time as being a director of operations. And what happened was I was on a personal journey with my own hair, and I was looking for a product that allowed me to just quickly style my hair. If you don't know, I'm the owner and proud founder of Kinkz hair products, and I created the Kinkz hair ties, but not to start a business. It was because I knew that if I needed this product, and I was a mother of 4 working corporate America, I was too busy to do my hair, other women felt the same way. So I said, I'm just going to start this as a side hustle, let other women benefit from this. I know they need it, but it's not going any further than that. Now I'm sitting in this corner office, beautiful view of the city, got my feet kicked up, making my own schedule, 6-figure salary, and then I feel that feeling. It starts rising up, and I sit up, and I'm like, absolutely not. You will suppress this. You have a good job. You're not going anywhere. Talk to friends, coworkers. They all were like, girl, you're crazy. This is a great job. But I could not fight the feeling. And I realized that when it's your calling, it just never stops calling. So I saved my dad for last. I went and talked to him, but I knew what he was going to say. He's told me this my whole life. He said, entrepreneurship is in your blood. Not because he was an entrepreneur, but because he saw something in me that I hadn't yet discovered. I heard him, but I wasn't listening. I went back to work for 2 more months and like, nah, we're going to suppress this. You have to stay here. You have to take care of your family. But I couldn't fight it anymore, and I was faced at my first of many crossroads. And at this crossroad, I'm looking at fear. Looks like Morpheus from the Matrix, red pill, blue pill. You can take the red pill, you can stay here, build somebody else's dream. You won't be happy, but you have your security blanket. You know how much your paycheck will be, how many hours you have to work per week. Live the rest of your life. Or you take this blue pill, you follow God's plan for you. You have no idea what that looks like. You have no sales, no strategy, no savings, but you will be happy. Now, most people will probably pluck that blue pill and say, no, red pill is the route. But I had to make a decision that would make me happy. So I took my first leap of faith of many, and I'm like, all right, God, followed your plan. Now, my problem was I thought that once I did that, I made that leap of faith, here comes the sales, everybody gonna love the products. That's all I needed to do. But I soon realized you don't just stop. You have to keep leaping. You have to keep making these, coming to these crossroads of fear. And it was so frustrating, but I kept going. So the next obstacle was, how do I put my product out there? Now, I saw everyone was, putting their business on social media, so I'm like, all right, I have to get on social media. I have to go through this hurdle. But I became the best hand model known to man because I am an introvert. I'm not putting my face on the screen. I don't want to be the face of the brand. So you saw me holding my hair ties, and I'm just shaking them around like, yeah, buy this, y'all need this. But it wouldn't go any further. So I'm at my next crossroad. Fear is like, sure, you be a hand model, you get 0 sales, you have no movement. Or you take this leap of faith, you put yourself out there, and you tell people about your brand and why they need your products. Did it, took this leap. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put myself out there. Sales started to increase. But what I wasn't seeing was a community. Barely had followers. No one knew about me, especially in the city. No one knew who I was. So I'm like, how do I get myself out there? Okay, another crossroad. You can stay inside and be an introvert, or you can go out there and network. And not just go to the event, put a name badge on, and then walk around the back. You actually go and introduce yourself to people. You talk to people. You put yourself out there. You do pitch competitions. You educate the world about your product. Now, at this point, I'm frustrated. I'm like, listen, Lord, why can't I just blow up like the people on Instagram? Why do I have to keep jumping over these fear hurdles? And why do I have to keep facing them? Like, I'm tired of this. This is a lot. I just want to blow up behind the scenes, make $1 million, and live the rest of my days happy. But it just doesn't work that way. And what I realized was I was pursuing something that is not there. See, I saw my dad as fearless. But this aha moment, this epiphany happened where I'm like, fear never leaves you. Fear is always there. And when I realized this, everything changed. Because I was trying to bury fear in the backyard and live a happy life. But fear can do one or two things. It can either make you or break you. And I had to learn about this process. So the first step was being aware it's not going anywhere. But then the second step was I had to figure out where this fear was coming from. I did some mirror work. I did a lot of work on myself. And I realized that in my mind, people thought I was a joke. No one thought I was worthy of being in the room. They didn't like my products. They think I'll fail. And I'm like, who told you that? Who made you feel this way? And as I'm looking at myself, I'm like, you did. You said you weren't worthy of being in the room. You said that your product was going to fail. So this came from me. I had these thoughts, self-sabotage. I sabotaged myself before I even began. So all right, that's step 2. I was able to heal that version of myself. But then I had to come to a point where I changed the relationship with fear. Because currently, fear was in the driver's seat and I was a passenger princess. Fear determined if I was going to go to the event or not. If you're too scared, let's just go home. And I walked away from tons of opportunity because I'm like, I'm just too scared, I can't do it. So I realized that, again, my dad wasn't fearless. He just learned how to control his fear. So now I'm at this point where I'm like, look, since fear is always going to be there, use it. Use it to sharpen you. Fear will make you prepare. Fear will make you come harder. Fear will make you practice more. Fear will make you dot your I's and cross your T's. Or fear will make it like it used to, make you buckle at the knees, sweat, panic attacks, anxiety. I'm not going on that stage. It's not for me. I'm not making that post. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself out there. Heard several people, I'm not getting on that stage. I would never pitch my business. It's not for everyone, but I can say this. I was that person. I was like, I will never get up there and pitch. A year ago, I attended NOEW for the very first time, and I had a name badge on, and I walked around. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. But what I saw when I went to Idea Pitch, I saw these amazing business owners get on that stage and put themselves out there. And I'm like, man, I want to be like that. But how do I get from here to there? So when I went through my process of fighting my fears and becoming stronger and changing the relationship, I realized, okay, no more backseat. No more trying to bury your fear in the backyard. Buckle it up in the backseat. Allow it to make you stronger in your purpose. and take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. Doing that made me the person that I am today. So while many people struggle with fear keeping them back, fear brought me here. Every time I face fear now, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get up here. I face fear right behind the stage. Do I want to get up here? Absolutely not. But am I going to get up here? Absolutely. Because it no longer has control. Yes, it's here, but it's here to strengthen me. So I know you all have faced this at some point in your life, but you have to decide, is strength going to continue to be a weakness, or am I going to turn it, is fear going to continue to be a weakness, or am I going to turn this into a strength and make it sharpen me like a knife? I am Alana Scott. That is all I have.